it's me, Princess Lorena, and for today's video, I am going to discuss history. So, what is history ba? Many say that history is the study of the past, particularly how it relates to us humans. And yes, these events happened in the past, but history involves the study of humans and their actions. It's about understanding how past events impacted our world and to give us knowledge about human capabilities. So ngayon, alamin natin kung ano nga ba ang estado ng Pilipinas during the 19th century. Let's go! So when we say 19th century, this was the year mula 1800 to 1899. Sinakop or we are colonized ng mga Espanyol for 333 years. Sa pananakop nila, they use two strategies, the evangelization and colonization. Evangelization means kung saan pinapalaganap nila yung religion, which is Christian. The second strategy naman na kanilang ginamit ay colonization. Dito ay ginagamitan ng lakas militar at rahas. So before the conquest, Filipinos had their own culture and their own government. So every barangay is independent from each other and each one of them has their own laws. So before the Spaniards came and imposed the Philippines, the people there were able to read and write. So marunong na silang magsulat at magbasa. But when the Spaniard colonized our country, pinilit nila ang mga Pilipino to adopt their foreign ways or practices. Filipinos did not have a choice during that time but to accept the culture, tradition, and practice of the Spaniards. When Spaniard occupied us hanggang 1821, indirectly na pinamunuan tayo ng Spain sa pamamagitan ng Viceroy of Mexico. Then nung nakalaya na ang Mexico sa Spain noong 1821, the Philippine indirectly pinamumunuan na naman tayo ng Spaniards through Governor General. So, let's proceed to the political condition of the Philippines during the 19th century. The Philippines was ruled by the visitor of Mexico indirectly as a representative of the Spanish king. So, ang ating system sa government was divided into four. Meron tayong national government headed by Governor General. Second is the provincial government headed by the Alcalde Mayor, and the municipal government headed by Gobernador Silio. And lastly, the barangay government headed by the Cabeza de Barangay. Each of them have powers but are limited to only one place kung nasaan sila. And yung Gobernador Silio at Cabeza de Barangay, ito lang yung posisyon na pwedeng tanggapin at ibigay sa mga Pilipino during that time. So, ang pinakamataas na posisyon ng isang Pilipino ay Gobernador Silio. All through the 19th century, that was the time of conflict in Philippine history. So, the Spaniards seized our homeland and aimed to conquer Filipinos and eliminate our traits as Filipinos by forcing us to do what they wanted us to do. Many people justify wars by stating that they are only commanded by natural laws, but wars are uncontrollable mysteries. Like ilang taon na paghihirap at iba-ibang experience na mahirap ipahiwatig sa sapat na salita. And as a result of this, not only mankind and morality have suffered, but also our traditions and our country. But after all, we have heroes. Maybe they lack of magical abilities and capabilities, but they have the courage to rectify the situation. And I realize we must respect and appreciate heroes while protecting the freedom for which they risk their life. So, the Manunggul Jar. The Manunggul Jar ay ito yung secondary burial from Neolithic burial site na makikita natin sa Manunggul Caves at Lipuon Point sa Palawan. On the top of the jar cover or yung pangtakip is a boat with two human figures that represent a long journey to the afterlife. Early Filipinos believe that a man is composed of a body, a life force called ginhawa, and a kaluluwa or soul, which explain why the designs of the cover of the Manunggul Jar featured three faces: the soul, the boatman, and the boat itself. So the manunggul jar is the item where they buried the body a second time around. And may mga tao pa rin na still ginagawa pa to, yung mga ganitong nakasanayan sa paglilibing, lalo na yung mga indigenous people in southern Philippines. On the inside of the jar ay makikita natin ang buto ng tao which are covered in red paint, kagaya rin ng nakasanayan ng mga Egyptian. On the inside of the jar ay makikita natin ang buto ng tao which are covered in red paint, kagaya rin na nakasanayan ng mga Egyptian. I learned na yung manunggul jar has a lot of contribution to the Philippines and to the Filipino as well. According to Dr. Robert Fox, who is an anthropologist and who found the jar, it is a work of an artist and a master potter. The jar itself proclaims kung paano pinaniniwalaan ng ating mga ancestors ang life after death and kung paano nila ipinapahayag kung ano ang kahulugan through a certain symbol. So, it was a perfect illustration of how Filipino people are great in inventiveness and expressiveness. Laguna Copper Plate Inscription. The Laguna Copper Plate Inscription, ito ay known as old documents that found in the Philippines. Meron itong nakatalang araw, buwan, taon ng pagkakasulat. And take note, hindi ito sa isang pirasong papel, pero sa isang tanso o copper. Ito ay nanatiling nakabaon sa baybayin ng Laguna, pero ito ay natuklasan noong 1987. But it is different from the previously discovered artifacts because it was written by using Kawi script or Old Javanese script. So yung nilalaman ng tanso or ng copper ay isang legal na katibayan ng kapatawaran mula sa pagbabayad ng utang. So, para siyang evidence. I learned na dahil sa isang kaperasong tanso na ito, ay we have the opportunity para silipin yung makulay na sinaunang lipunan ng ating mga ancestors. These taught me to see through the eyes of others, including inanimate things such as rock, chairs, or even a book. At ito ay nagsisilbing salamin ko. Looking at the world through other people's eyes. Like it is a journey told in words and guided by my imaginations. It taught me about the past and how things were done back then. How different the forms and letters as well as the process of communication were then compared today. Studying and being given the idea to the world of literature at a young age taught me the true value of literature. It is to understand and analyze the situation from multiple perspectives. 16th to 18th centuries. Mostly in the 16th to 18th centuries, our region is diverse and rich in traditions and culture. Ginamit ng ating mga ancestors ang konseptong ito to show their respect, how they talk, and yung pag-aalala nila sa mga kaganapan. The culture of each community has its own values. Ancient dramas and even short stories are also part of our ancient writings. On a daily basis, inilalarawan nito ang ating routines and practices. After nating mapunta sa kamay ng mga Spaniards, we have showed so many traditions that are still exist until now. Tradition and culture are still taught in school at pinapayagan pa rin natin ito hanggang sa katapusan ng panahon. In the cultural history of our country, the physical artifacts and intangible characteristics of many tribes ng ating mga ancestors have been passed down from generation to generation, preserved in the present, and ito ay nagpro-provide for the benefits of future generations. Duties of the Katipunan. Filipinos seeking to overthrow Spanish rule. They created a hidden system based on Masonic rite and ideals in 1892 upang magplano ng armed opposition and terrorist attacks through President and Gabinete. It serves as de facto government of the Philippines. So, when we say de facto government, it means comes into or remains in, like power by means but not country's constitution. So nung pumalit na si Andres Bonifacio as head of the organization, it became more aggressive. The Grito de Balintawak was the catalyst for the Philippine Revolution. Filipinos throughout the island of Luzon began to fight back after their tax and citizenship papers were penalized. And Emilio Jacinto led the men of the Katipunan in several important battles, but both sides ay natalo. It reminds me na people should indeed value and understand the value of our freedoms and privileges. Because at that time, it was important for Filipinos para kilalanin at ipaglaban ang ating mga karapatan as well as how we should treat others. Knowing and understanding people's rights encourages people para hamunin yung mga discriminations and positive communication and to go beyond. Our freedom and rights, which have been neglected, are important for overall development of our country as well as the mental and emotional wellness of our citizens. Our rights and liberties are essential for a better life. However, they are often violated these days and we must work together to solve these issues. Nararapat lamang na yung governments and the citizens must work together, help each other to protect and make progress. The Philippine Island History. Thousands of islands make up the Philippine archipelago. And before all of this, there was a beginning. As a result, we have earned the moniker history by studying how successfully history has shaped and continues to shape global, national, and local relationships between societies and individuals. History helps us understand and struggle with complex difficulties and dilemmas. The best stories and myths surrounding the history of the Philippines is that our country, as we know, it was founded as a result of a war between two giants named Angalo and Angara, whose fight lasted a few days and culminated in the island that make up the country. The scientific explanation, on the other hand, would date back to 60 million years ago, when the first Philippine island was formed. The Mindoro and Palawan are the names of the two islands. The Philippine Revolution came about in 1892. Ito ay para labanan yung mga Spaniards. The Katipuneros and other Filipinos created an organization to plan the overthrow of the Spaniards. An undercover moderate group was organized. Our predecessors came together and they were ready to take their lives in exchange for our freedom. The Filipinos, commanded by Emilio Aguinaldo and Andres Bonifacio, marched in protest to force the Spaniards to leave. They ripped their certificates and created an army to defend their freedoms. And those happenings encouraged me to take risks, because life is all about taking risks. If you never take risks, you will never know what could have been. And at some point, I would let myself be a people pleaser. I shall not remain silent, lalo na kung ang aking karapatan ay inaabuso. Hindi ako matatakot hanggat alam kong ako ay nasa tama. I will always and forever stand up for the things that are right. Because we must learn to fight for ourselves and our rights as humans. The chapter that I read emphasizes the longing of the people of the Republic of the Philippines for freedom under the control of dictator Don Emilio Aguinaldo. Johnson, an artillery colonel, observed and signed the agreement to liberate the country after itong sakupin ng kanilang mga settler. It is also stated na the flag should not be changed in a big way dahil it depicts the rich history and highest representation of the country. The Philippines was not always a free country. In different cases, we were besieged. Ang mga bansa sa buong mundo have sought to possess us, saying that we are bigger, tougher, and more capable compared before. But when Andres Bonifacio and Jose Rizal and some others fought our right in freedom that happened before, Dr. Jose Rizal na ating kasalukuyang bayani was also present for the membership of Katipunan. Yung Mabuhay ang Kalayaan ng Pilipinas was written by Bonifacio on the walls of the cave upang ipahayag kung ano ang purpose ng kanilang lihim na lipunan. Sumulat din si Dr. Rizal ng mga aklat tungkol sa kawalan ng katarungan sa mga pangyayari. After all, I realized how lucky I am today. Our heroes risked their lives so we could have freedom. And that's our choices in life are very important. Freedom is not an effective motto at ang pagiging sapat sa ating sarili ay maaaring mga hulugan na we are able to do what we want and value while staying within our limitations. Marahil para sa isang state, gayon din sa mga tao. That's why freedom is very important. It is so amazing to feel free while reading this. And although I have the right to do whatever I choose, pero hindi para natin madadanan na may mga restriction pa rin dyan.